Today I want to make a quick video showing you how to use filters inside of Google Sheets. Now, using filters is one of the most important things. It really helps you navigate your spreadsheet in a much more manageable way. But a lot of people don't understand how to use them properly and some of the really important caveats and rules that comes along with it. So I have a spreadsheet here of all of my client jobs, right? Now, a lot of this is all just fake data. But let's say I want to filter this so that I only look at one client's jobs. So let's say Tira Linney has multiple jobs and I want to look at all of her jobs, or if I want to sort all of this data in a certain way, or if I want to look at all of the jobs above $500, or all of the jobs that have been marked a 5 under progress, or all the jobs that have been marked canceled or complete. Now, the way to do this is to use filters, but there are some rules with it. So let's say I have a sheet like this where my headers, the title of my columns, are the very first row. Now this makes it really easy to just click anywhere on the first row and hit a filter. And what's going to happen is you'll see these little icons come up next to the title names. And then I can begin kind of filtering this data here, right? So let's say I want to see only Tira Linney. I can go into this here. So everything is automatically checked. I want to clear this filter, and then I want to type in TIE until it shows up, click on it, and hit OK. And now I see all the jobs where this is Tira Linney, and I can always, and it doesn't change any of the data, but it just displays it to me differently, and I can go in there and edit just all of her stuff, right? And then to delete the filter, to clear the filter, there's a few options. I can click back to the original filter, and I can just go to select all and press OK, and it'll go back. But let's say I had a bunch of stuff filtered, right? So let's say I'm filtering Tira Linney's work, but now I also want to see all of the data that has been completed. Now I can go to status and hit and uncheck ghosted and hit OK right over here. And now it's only going to show me Tira Linney's that are complete. Now there's two filters on it. I can go back and uncheck everything, or I can just turn off the entire filter. Like this, and it's going to go all the way back. So you see here, that's a super great way of using it. You can also sort your data. So if I want to go back to filters, and let's say I want to sort it all by the start date, right? By earliest start date to end, or latest start date. Let's see, sort Z to A. So now it's going to sort all the data like this, or I can sort it by status, like this, right? So these are all different ways that you can use the filters. But some of the important thing that some people miss about filters is what it selects. Now, if I scroll down to the very bottom here, you're going to see a green line. Now, this is the end of the filtered of the data that it's going to filter. If you happen to have like a space, like an empty row in between your data sets, and that you didn't even realize. So let's say you have a bunch of data down here. It's not going to capture this data. Because when you click on the filter originally, so let's say I re-click the filter, all it does is it goes down to the first completely blank row. So if you happen to have missing data in a few rows, it's not going to capture it. And a lot of people do have missing data, right? And then as they filter it, so if I'm at the top here and I type in client name, I clear, I go to Nick and I hit OK. You'll see here, I'm lucky here because I can actually see it, but sometimes there's a lot of data and you basically miss looking at all the data down here, right? So the way to fix this is to make sure that you select everything. Now, let's say that you have a spreadsheet where the header row is actually the first row of the spreadsheet. Now this is super easy. All you have to do is click here to select all and hit filter. And then if you go to the very, very bottom, you'll see here that there's no green line here. There's a space here, but if I go to the very, very bottom, I press Command down, you see the green line goes to the very bottom. Now that's the safest way to use filters because you're sure that it captures everything. However, a lot of people have spreadsheets where they have like a title row up top. So let's say title of spreadsheet, something like this. Now what happens is if you do have that and you click on filter, the spreadsheet automatically starts filtering from the very first row. And you see this doesn't make any sense, right? If you sort it, it's going to kind of mess things up. It's going to ruin things. So what you want to do in this case is you want to click on this entire row. So let me uncheck this filter first. Click on this entire row by clicking on the number here of the headers. And if you click on a filter, then it's going to do what we originally did. The same thing, except that if you do have any empty rows, it's going to cause an issue, right? So if you do have like a title row up here, what you want to do is you want to click here to highlight this entire row. And then on a Mac, press Command Shift down. Just keep pressing it, because when you press it down once, it's going to go down to the first empty row, and I press it again, it's going to go to the next row, press it again, the one underneath it, and then just click it, like just hold it down basically, and then click on filter, and then now you see the filter starts here and the filter ends here. So that's the safest way of doing it, right? And on a PC, it's Control Shift down is how you navigate things that are highlighted. So that's probably the best way of doing it. You can also just kind of highlight all the way down, but it might take a while to do it this way. So I'd recommend using hotkeys for sure. So that's kind of the safest way with using filters, is to make sure that you're able to select all of the relevant data, or just make sure that your data doesn't have any empty rows, right? So one of those two things. Now, once you've done all that, there's a few other things you can do with filters. So let's say I only want to look at jobs that are above $500, right? So I can click on total amount. You can filter by values over here. So click on values or condition. So you can go to is greater than or equal to 500, and then hit OK. And now it's only going to show me jobs that are above $500. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with filters to kind of navigate your things. A lot of times people want to see just a certain status, things like that. So there's a lot of cool things to do. So make sure you can play and you can sort your data as well. So you can sort the data. And also one thing to know is that if you have a filter on, okay, so let me delete this, because this is how I do my spreadsheets, right? I do them, the header is usually in the very top. So then turn on the filter. What you can also do is, so the filter goes down to here, right? But if you organically type in a new name, let's see, or like sanctuary. Yeah, so it's important to know that if you type in new data, it's not going to, the filter's not going to automatically extend, right? So you have to turn it off and use it. So a filter is a good way of viewing data. Just make sure that you have captured all of your data as you select it. If you guys have any questions about how to use filters, leave any comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks a lot, guys.